Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Unhinged Fangirl with me, your host, Destiny. How's everybody doing? If this gets cut off for some reason and it's like a weird jump, just know that my boss called me. So that's probably why it's like this. And I'm feeling very groggy. I took a nap today, which I really didn't want to do because I wanted to like push through, but you know me, I have to nap. I have to nap. So that's been fun. And so now I'm like all out of place. And also it's almost 9 p.m. as I'm filming this on Tuesday. And you know what happens at 9 p.m. The new Love Island comes out. So I am really rushing. And I want to start on time today. But we'll see how that goes. Because I wanted to do so much today and I just didn't do it, and that's fine. Totally fine. But I always say I think this is going to be a quicker episode, but I think for the fact that it is almost 9 p.m., it might be a quicker episode this week, which I don't think people would complain about that. So before I get started though, please rate the podcast if you haven't yet. Share it with your friends. New episodes every Thursday. Don't forget. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Unhinged Fangirl Podcast. Yay. So now that out of the way. Last week was a good week. I do want to start the episode by starting with the question, what made me unhinged this week? Okay, I'm starting at the top. I would say I wrote this down, but I don't know if this is actually what made me unhinged, but ATEEZ's new song Lemon Drop, when I tell you that song has been on repeat, it's been ridiculous. It's been actually ridiculous. And it's like, I need to hear that in a club expeditiously. I need it bad. Every time I hear that song, I just think of the music video when Hongjoon is in the car all sweaty. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't do it. So I think that's what made me unhinged this week. So let me know what has made you unhinged this week. Please let me know. It doesn't have to be music. It can be anything, really. But I do want to start off by talking about the New York trip that I just went on. I went on a trip for my friend Jenna's birthday. Happy birthday, Benna. But what happened before we even got to New York, I do have to talk about for a little bit because it truly is so ridiculous. So me and a group of my friends, we all wanted to, take the Amtrak up to New York from DC, because if you do it in a group, a lot of times the tickets are a little bit cheaper. So we're like, okay, obviously we're going to book in a group because that makes the most sense. So the moral of the story is really, for me, as soon as it happened, I was like, okay, well, the moral of the story for me, and I always say this, is that if you ever want to get something done, do it yourself. If you ever want to get something done right, do it yourself. Because this is why I have a hard time trusting people. If we're being completely honest. This is why I don't trust people and I don't open up. This has more to do with the trust than opening up, but you understand what I'm saying. So basically, it was one person in charge of buying the tickets, right? And so, we worked everything out. I'm like, hey, we should probably get these soon, because Amtrak likes to think they're a fucking airplane with the prices sometimes. It's like, okay, I'm not going to pay $200 for a seat on this damn train. Like, I'm not doing that. You're not a flight. You're not special. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, let's get this ball rolling. We booked them like a couple weeks ago, and we're like, okay, cool. We Venmo the person. Cool. Set in stone. Let's go. Now, you may be asking, did the person send a screenshot of the ticket to the group chat? No, they did not. And me being me, I'm like, no, I trust this person. It's fine. It's totally fine, because I know that they did that correctly. Because why would I think, why would it not be right? I was sadly mistaken, if we're being completely honest. So I get to the train station on Friday. Usually when I go to the train station, I go get kava before the train just to have something to eat. So I'm eating my kava. It's all good. Train's supposed to be in like a half hour. I'm chilling. I'm watching my podcast. It's all good. And then I get a phone call from my friend. And he goes, come to Potbelly right now. We have a situation. What do you mean? What do you mean a situation? So I walk over to Potbelly. And that is when I find out that we don't have a train ticket to New York. For some reason, Amtrak, he booked the Amtrak from New York to DC both ways. How did that happen? I don't know. If you're doing round trips, I don't understand how you can do it twice from the same direction. I don't know. But that is the news that I was given. And I was like, oh, okay. I think in that moment, like, I was very calm. Like, I'm not an angry person anyway. Like, I don't really blow up at people. But I literally was just like, of course. What can I possibly do right now? What can I possibly do to change this? I can't. So I kind of just sat there, and, the option of getting a rental car was thrown around. There are no cars. The option of getting another train ticket was thrown around. It's going to run you about $250 one way. So the only other option was to take the bus. Which, like, hey, I don't mind the bus. The bus is cheap. The bus gets you from point A to point B in a fairly safe manner. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I did tell myself, and I didn't say this out loud, but I did tell myself the last time I took the last time I took the bus to New York, that I would never do that again. But here I go, standing correct. I stand corrected, apparently. So that was fun. The bus wasn't bad, honestly. It just, like, it always takes longer than what it says it will because traffic, getting into New York, getting through the tunnel, like, we're stopping a couple places. Like, it's taking a little bit longer than I would like. So, but other than that, the New York trip was fine. I had a great time. Yeah, it was very chill. It was very like, I'm in New York, but I don't feel like I'm in New York. It was also so hot. But, I did what I wanted to do, which was like nothing. And I know that's like, how can you go to New York and not do anything? It's just like, it was just very chill. Went to a bar, went to the birthday party, got a bagel, left. Very in and out. So that was my New York trip. But that was the start of my New York trip. So that imagine how I was feeling all weekend, Anyway, moving on. I had my Stray Kids show that I talked about a couple weeks. I had my Stray Kids show yesterday, as I'm filming this, the Monday. And if you keep up with, like, Stray Kids at all, you would know that I'm not gonna bury the lead. Basically, it was about 100 degrees in DC yesterday, and I'm not over exaggerating. It was literally like 99 to 100 degrees yesterday. So, obviously it was very hot. It was, very, even at night when the sun set, it was still very thick. Okay. The air is really thick over here. The humidity goes crazy and not in a good way. And so with that all being said, during the show, they had to end the show early because of heat exhaustion and, like, so many people were passing out. I mean, I'm sure the boys were also, like, absolutely, like, dying because they're, like, up here dancing. There's fire, there's fireworks, and there's these heavy lights. Like, I'm sure they really couldn't do it. Like, it honestly, like, really bad planning on whoever's part this was. Like, I understand, like, stadium tours because that's such a great accomplishment. To be able to do something like that is so incredible. But at the same time, a lot of these stadiums are not, they don't have roofs unless you're, like, in Vegas or something. There's only a couple places, like, on the West Coast that have, insulated arenas. Or stadiums, I should say. Insulated stadiums, I should say. So a lot of times, there's rain. We're dealing with the elements when we're dealing with the stadium tour, which is really hard to do in the summer. Like, I have a friend who's going to the Chicago stop, I think like tomorrow, and it's supposed to be like thunderstorming. Okay, if there's lightning, then the show it's over. So, yeah, the show had to end early because of the weather, which honestly was really disappointing. And I'm not blaming the boys. It's just like all of the other factors at hand that was really disappointing about it, because yeah, it just sucks to be there and it's like, okay, well. And honestly, the one song that I did want to hear, which is I Like It, because I was so hyperfixated on that song last year when it came out. I was like, this is my song. This is my song. And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this song and like the messaging behind it. And I think it's so quote unquote funny, but it's not actually funny. It's just funny coming from a group like Stray Kids. Like, if you've ever heard I Like It, it's basically like, girl, don't ask what are we? We're not anything. We're not putting a label on this. It's just like, I'm just telling you that I like it. Which is crazy to come from a K-pop band if you really think about it. If you really want to go there, it's so fun and funny. Like, girl, I like it. Like, don't make me label this right now. I'm having fun. It's just truly so crazy. But yeah, saying all that to say, before we even got to ending the show early. Oh yeah, and they were supposed to have like carts. If you've ever seen like a lot of K-pop shows that are in stadiums, they have carts. 17 did this for LA, which like I will never forget them for. Like, actually, like, I will never forgive you for that. Like, this past tour too, that was also the only the only stadium that 17 had was the LA shows, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'll never forgive y'all for that, but we'll get to 17 in a second, because something about me, it will always come back to 17. But before even getting into the Stray Kids show, I taken a nap like I do, and I was like, oh, I'm probably going to get there like an hour before, because like I wasn't planning on getting merch. I mean, I was planning on getting merch if the opportunity led itself, because Stray Kids was selling sweatpants and they were really cute. And I'm like, oh, that's so fun. But if I'm being honest, like, Stray Kids are not, like, I like them. Obviously, I went to go see them. But they're not one of my, like, favorite groups. Like, I listen to them occasionally, but they're not a group that I stream a lot. So I was like, $75 for sweatpants from a group that, like, are not, like, my favorites. I'm like, that I can't really justify that right now. You know what I'm saying? So I held off on that. But before that, I was like, okay, if I can get merch, if I get in quickly, like, I might get like a shirt or something. I love a good t-shirt. I love a good concert t-shirt. Basically, I was like, oh yeah, I'll get there like an hour before. It'll be fine. Like, it's a stadium. Like, there's a lot of entrances. It'll be perfect. No. So I'm walking over to the stadium. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people still here. It's like 6 at this point, and the doors are supposed to open at 5:30. So I'm like, okay, we should have like been getting this ball rolling, but it's no big deal. So I'm walking, I'm looking, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people. Like, lines are wrapped around. I'm like, okay, I don't want to go to that entrance. Let's try this one. Line wrapped around. Okay, something. Now, in my defense, looking back on it, I could have chose a better entrance. I definitely could have. I know I could have. But I was alone and I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I kept walking and walking and walking. I'm like, okay, I need to like start. I need to get in a line somewhere. So I chose the entrance that had 2 security checkpoints only, and then like one lie detector, like not lie detector, what's it called? Like the metal detector. I think that's, yeah. It was literally 2 security checkpoints and 1 metal detector. Okay, there's about 1,000 people in line, so I should have chosen better. But that's on me. That's on me. I was getting worried because I was standing in the line for almost an hour. The show starts at 7:30. So I'm like, okay, if I don't get in, because one thing about K-pop shows, if that ticket says it starts at 7, 7:30, 8, it's the show's going to start at that time, because usually, a show will say, yeah, it starts at 7, but there's a little bit of waiting. There's an opening act. The person might not probably come on till like 9. No, when K-pop shows on that ticket, whatever's on that ticket, that's when the show starts. There's no opening acts. There's no, like, we need to get down to business quickly. So I always get freaked out because I'm like, okay, I was standing in this line. I'm like, okay, well, the show's about to start in like 20 minutes. So I need to get in. And yeah, the line was taking forever. So I did go ahead and cut, and I'm not proud of it. I hate those people, but I had to do what I had to do, and I had to find my seat. Like, sorry guys, like, go faster. I don't know. So yeah, I cut the line with like these nice girls who were like, are you alone? Like, come with us. So I got there, I got in, I grabbed a hot dog because I hadn't eaten anything because I'm so smart and so diligent. Yeah, I hadn't eaten anything. So I grab a hot dog, and then I'm trying to like find my seat. I'm walking around the entire stadium. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm walking upstairs. But lo and behold, where I purchased my ticket, the way that the stadium was working, like there was a section where the boxes are. I wasn't in the box, but I was in the section where like it was air conditioned. It's like a special like club section. I don't really know, but as soon as I hit those doors with that AC, I was like, wow, I'm living the life. I walk up to try to get some water, and I walk up to one of the kiosks, and the guy's like, we're closed. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's like a cockroach over there. Oh my God. No. Hey. We're back. Sorry y'all had to see that. When I tell you I've never experienced, I won't even say the word anymore because I can't. I've never experienced that before, so that was new, and it wasn't exciting. I'm lying to myself. That was new for me. So sorry y'all had to see and hear that. Also, I need to update you. It's been several hours later. After who was in my my apartment, I did take care of it. Okay, call me an exterminator. I took care of it, and then I started watching Love Island because at that point it was like 9:15. So I was like, okay, I need to watch Love Island, and I could talk about it now, since there's no episode tomorrow. And then yeah, I ate dinner. I did the whole nighttime routine except for anyway. So it's been a second since I sat down again. I also don't remember where I was in my Stray Kids story. I think I was at the part where I was at the place, and the guy was like, oh, we're closed. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he asked me, what did you want? And I was like, oh, I just wanted a water. And then he was like, come on through. And so I was like, okay, thank you. And then once I got up to the cash register, I was like, oh, can I just get a water? And then he was like, yeah, of course. I pull my card out, and he goes, you're good. Oh my God, little old me. That's crazy. But thank you to that man. Thank you, King. Yeah, let me save my $7 for some damn water. Thank you. But that was absolutely incredible. I literally was like, oh my God, is this what pretty privilege feels like? This is crazy. But yeah, and then I got to my seats, and apparently the section I was in was like the suites or whatever. I don't even know what to call them, but they had like cushions on the seats. And I didn't realize it until I was like sitting there for a while. I'm like, these are like really comfortable. And I was like, oh, these are not like the normal baseball seats. Like these are cushioned. So that was really nice. But yeah, the show itself was so good. Like I had never, the only stadium show in my life that I have ever been to was One Direction eons ago. And, you know, One Direction, it was one of the best nights of my life. Let me preface that. But it was not at the caliber that a K-pop show is at, if you know what I mean. Like, it's on a different level. It's similar calibers, but different. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So I didn't really know what to expect. And also I didn't know what to expect from a Stray Kids show because this is my first time seeing them. They were at Lala last year, but I knew that they were going on tour this year. Like they had announced like, oh yeah, we're doing like a 40 city tour. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to see them at Lala only because SZA was also performing at the same time. And I'm like, let me go see my girl SZA. And then, you know, I know I'm going to see them on tour. So it was all good. I stayed for like one song of theirs and then I ran to SZA. But the one song that I did see, it was incredible. I was like, my jaw was on the ground. And I was like, whoa, they're like really good performers. Which like, obviously they're so popular. It's like, you know, if someone is so popular, they're probably like great on stage. But I just hadn't seen it with my own two eyes. And yesterday was just such a testament to that because, oh my gosh, stadium tours are crazy. Like the scale of everything that is happening is just like out of this world. It's like, I've never experienced anything like that. Like the camera work, the quality, the stage. I mean, the lasers on the sky, the fireworks, like everything about it was just so, it was so grand, it was so big, it was so incredible, and it was awesome to see. And I mean, they really ate that show up. I know, obviously, like I said earlier, it was 100 degrees outside, so I know they were like absolutely wanting to pass away, but they put on an incredible show. And I was like, the whole time I was just being like, wow, wow, wow. And everybody looked so good. It was such a great show. Again, you know, ending early aside, like I'm really grateful that I went. And it was just a great night for what it was. You know what I mean? And a lot of people went to the hospital because of heat stroke and stuff. And obviously because we had to end the show early, but I know a lot of people were suffering, but it was a really good show. But with all that being said, I fear for K-pop shows specifically, we need to get rid of the GA pits, okay? We need to get rid of them. We need to ban them. We need to like stop. I understand from a company standpoint, GA pits, you can fit more people in there because people are going to cram into those spots. But if you're having a show with, okay, so usually if there's like a GA pit or any type of pit situation for a K-pop show, they're going to include, it's like a VIP package. So a lot of times they will include like a sound check or like something will happen afterwards, like some type of VIP package inclusion. And a lot of times that is sound check. So sound check is like, I want to say like 2 hours before the doors open. Sometimes, or maybe like an hour. The bottom line is these people are in the sun or just like not even, I mean, not arenas. Oh yeah, arenas also have like GA pits and stuff. But these people are standing for about 7 hours. Like people are going to pass out. People are not drinking water. People are not eating because they don't want to leave their spot where they are in the pit. And it's like, this is not safe. Okay. If we're not at a festival, like this should not be happening. anymore, especially for stadium tours like this. Like, there is no reason why everyone should not have a seat, especially if it's a K-pop show, because K-pop shows usually run about 2.5 to 3 hours. And like I just said, like, if you add sound check to that, you're going on 5-6 hours of standing. Like, people, this cannot be any longer, because it's not safe, it's not regulated, and it's like, it's a free-for-all. It's just, we have got to stop. We have got to stop with the G8 pits. Like, we need to ban them. I don't know how we can, but we need to ban them. Like, everybody needs a seat. I don't care if you can fit more people in there. I don't care if I don't care. Everyone needs a seat, please. Like, you know, and we also need to just, like, be taking care of ourselves. We need to be hydrating. We need to be eating. We need to be, like, you know, getting those electrolytes in. We need to do all of the steps in order to have a good experience at these concerts. And also, we need to be thinking about others and their concert experiences as well. I'm not blaming anyone for what happened at Stray Kids, because, like, you know, there's only so much, like, hydration and, like, things that you can do when it's 100 degrees outside. Like, heat stroke is real, and I'm not blaming them for it, but at the same time, it's like, we shouldn't be camping out in front of venues for 5 days in the blaring sun. Like, we shouldn't be standing outside at 5 a.m. and being away from, like, we don't need to be going to these measures for shows like this, when we already know it's about to be, like, a risk to even do it in the first place. Does that make any sense? Like, it's just, it's just not sustainable. And I don't, this is also why I'm nervous for Lollapalooza, because, like, yes, I mean, the lineup this year is going to be insane. Like, we have Sabrina, Olivia, Role Model, Doechii, like, all of these incredible, like, artists. But I fear, like, a lot of these fan bases are on the younger side, and I just feel like they're not going to be taking care of themselves, and that can really ruin not only the person's experience, because, you know, now they have to deal with, like, medical stuff, but it can also ruin so many other people's experience. And it's just like, we need to start having that empathy of taking care of yourself and taking care of others, and, like, making sure that, you know, everyone has a good time around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes sense of what I'm trying to say. It's just like, we just need to be taking care of ourselves and not, you know, not skipping those steps when we're doing things like this. But anyway, that leads me to saying that, because, you know, I always bring it back to 17. I think I talked about, or maybe I didn't talk about this last time I talked about 17, but the last tour that 17 had was, like, an arena show, or an arena tour, I should say. And the only stop that had, like, a stadium was LA. Okay. So, I mean, yes, I am biased because 17 is my favorite group, and I think they deserve arena shows, and I definitely think that they can do it because they definitely have the fan base for it. At least I think so. But, like, there's no reason why 17 should have been doing arena shows when they were about to celebrate their 10th anniversary. Like, that makes no sense. And it's just like, the stage production that they could be having in the States with a stadium tour it would be absolutely insane. Because I know they can do that stuff. They do it all the time in Korea. They do it all the time in Japan. So I feel like they could definitely do it here. And I feel like if tickets were more accessible and, like, you know, it wasn't such a battle to get them, obviously more people would show out. They would, you know, support them and maybe even garner new fans because of it. Like, I just feel like Pledis is stifling 17's growth, because I'm like, why are you doing arena shows when you're so famous and you're so talented and everybody knows who you are? And again, I am biased, but it's like, y'all can be at that level if you would just give them a chance to show you, which I don't understand how they haven't showed you in the past 10 years. Nobody would know who Pledis was if it wasn't for 17. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. It's actually really crazy to me. But also, with that all being said, I'm so excited for BTS to do a reunion tour, because when they do stadium tours, baby, that reunion stadium tour is going to go crazy. And I'll go wherever. I'll go wherever you want me to go. I will. Oof. Oh my God. That's going to be insane. So yay, I'm so excited for that. Since I just watched Love Island, I do have to talk about it a little bit. And again, if you're not caught up, you're gonna have to come back to this, because guys, I haven't even gone on Twitter yet, so I don't even know what initial reactions are to what just happened. But I'm only going to talk about Casa more, because that's kind of the only thing that matters right now. Like, I don't even know where to start. I'm going to start actually where we left off the episode tonight as. First of all, I was crying my eyes out. I didn't sit once that entire episode, mainly because I was doing other things while I was watching, but also like when it came time to the recoupling, there was no sitting for me. There was no ounce of rest. There was no calmness in the air at all. Because how was I supposed to rest knowing that Alondria had the potential to go home? And guess what? She did. Because let me tell you, I'm not mad at Amaya, okay? I'm not mad at her at all, because Amaya was putting in that fucking work. She laid eyes on Zach K, and she was like, I'm going to do something. I need to do something, because she was vulnerable. She was single and vulnerable. She's like, okay, I have 24 hours to make some shit shake. And she did. Like, I really, like, wow. I really commend her for that, because like, she's like, yeah, I'm going to take a shot and I'm going to take a chance. And she did it the right way, because she did talk to Alandria about it, even though it was kind of like after the fact. But I think she did make it clear, like, she was going to talk to everyone's, connections and, try to see if there was something there with anyone. But she did talk to Alandria about it. She was very open. She was very honest. And like, I commend her for that. And she was putting in that work. Like, she was like, yeah, I would love another kiss. Like, yeah, girl, say exactly what you want. That was truly incredible to see. It really, really was incredible to see and watch, because wow. But with that being said, Zach K was also paired with Alandria, and I knew, like, as soon as Alandria was like, yeah, I don't, it took me like a week to like kiss Taylor outside of a challenge. And he was like, oh. And like, that's just not how he was vibing. But I also understand like Alandria's boundaries. And she's like, I'm not just going to like kiss you just to kiss you, or to like stay on the show. Like, this actually means something to me, and I want something genuine. And I totally understand where she's coming from. But as soon as she did say that to Zach K, I said, I already know what he's going to do. And I'm not saying that because Amaya was moving fast. I'm just saying, like, in the long run, he's like, I'm not that type of, I think he was like thinking about like, he's not that type of mover. Like, he likes to have a little bit of fun, which is totally fine. And we'll get to Zach K in a second. But yeah, as soon as she said that, I was like, I think we are cooked. And Alandria's going home, which I'm like still sick about it. I'm really sick. Like, I truly was over here crying like I was in the villa. You would have thought that I was in Fiji with Alandria for the past 3 weeks. And I was because I know her. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The fact that Alandria did not shed one tear during that entire process, I've never seen a stronger woman. I've never seen it. And she's like, I've just had to be strong all my life. That broke my heart. That absolutely broke my heart, because I'm like, what has this woman gone through that she's like, No, I'm fine. I'm strong. I can do it. Wow. Like, that really put everything into perspective for me. I'm like, oh, wow. And also when she didn't like actually, shed a tear until she was kind of by herself with the camera people outside of the villa. And she was like, I've been single for 5 years. Like, I just want to find love. Like, ooh, I never felt for a person so much. I was like, ooh, I'm with you, girl. Like, I'm standing here with you. Like, I'm standing here with you in solidarity. Hold my hand. Yeah, that actually broke my heart because I was like, wow, that was crazy. But then switch it back over to the guy's side. I actually wasn't expecting Nick to be eliminated. Like, I'm like, out of all the guys in this damn villa, we're sending Nick home? You mean to tell me that none of the Casa Amor girls were into Nicholas? Easily, except for Pepe. Easily one of the most attractive of the bunch. And I'm not, like, we don't have a lot to work with in that bunch. So that is being so nice. What does that mean? Like, what? That was crazy. That was crazy that nobody picked him. I don't know what to do with that. Like, that just didn't make any sense to me. And I will reiterate that I do think Nick is a whore. Okay. And I do if he would have stayed, he probably would have broken Sierra's heart. So, like, I don't know what this means for him now. So I think when Sierra finds out that Nick is not in that damn villa, she's going to be sick to her damn stomach and she's going to swim to the States. She's going to jump off that dock and swim to the States because the entire time she's been in Casa, she's like, I miss my man. I miss my man. I miss my man. Same with Alandria. I miss my man. I miss my man. I miss my man. Same with Shelly. I miss my man. I miss my man. I have no words. But, and I also was just so upset with Love Island because, like, Casa is it's such a big thing. Like, Casa Amor is Love Island. You know what I mean? Like, the season it's a make or break for the season for Casa Amor. And the only thing that the people should be worried about, the contestants should be worried about, is there other connections in the villa? Like, they should only be worried about the person that they're partnered up with, not if they're going to get eliminated or not. And also, like, 24 hours to find, like, a quote unquote connection. Like, that part, I'm like, I don't know whose idea that was, but that was, like, really sick and twisted. And we lost my top two, personally. And we just lost, like, two of the best people in the cast. And they're OGs. It's like, oh, it's sick. But I would not be myself if I said, once Nick was sent home, I was like, Nicolandria. Okay, guys, but a Nicolandria. Okay, but what does this mean about Nicolandria? I was like, because if I am nothing, I'm just so delusional. I'm nothing but delusional. So as soon as I put the two and two together, I was like, this is crazy. But at the end of the episode, there was a sequence. As soon as I saw that black car, they cut to that black car, I said, what's going on? So there's like a black car rolling up for Nick. He's like walking out of the villa with his damn suitcase. Olandria opens up the door and she goes, Nick, come on. And then he's like, what are you doing here? I thought that I also said, Olandria, what are you doing here? And they get in the car together and they drive off. Hey, question. What does that mean? So it is clear that they are coming back in some capacity, but I'm also like, guys, this is nuts. how are they going to bring them back? Like, are they going to wait until everybody's back in the villa? And then this is what's happening in my head. So everybody comes back from Casa because they said everybody's coming back to the villa, which also, can I ask, where's everybody sleeping? If everybody's coming back, where are we putting everyone? Are we putting out beds like by the fire pit? Like, what's going on? Because it's already a packed house. We don't have the room. We don't have the space. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm interested to see how that's going to work. So, and also another thing about Casa, the thing that was so incredible about Casa is like this anticipation of if the person you're coupled up with is about to walk in with someone hand in hand, or if they're coming back single. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to have that dynamic, I guess. But I guess since everybody's coming back, I don't know. I don't know. Like, when everyone comes back, are they going to be like, oh my God, Nick's not here. Oh my God, Alandria's not here. And they're going to have like that crash out cry moment. And then again, this is in my head, Nick and Alandria are going to walk in hand and now be in a couple because they've had time to explore their connection. Yeah. Put me on the show. Let me be a producer. Get me in there. Get me in there. That's the thought process that I had. But I don't know what's going to happen. And we're not going to have an episode tomorrow, Wednesday, as I'm filming this. So I guess I'm going to have to wait till Thursday, which is going to be like the worst day of my life. It's not going to be. It's going to be great. I'm trying to think positively. It's going to be great. But anyway, another thing that I have to touch on with Love Island, Zach K. Zach K. I'm only saying Zach K because Ariana said Zach K because there is a Zach C, but whatever. When I saw Zach K and he opened up his damn mouth, I said this to my friends. I was like, I think Zach K, I like made him in my dreams. I literally sculpted that man in my dreams. And here he is on my damn screen. Some people don't find Zach K attractive, and that is totally fine. But can I just say that, like, do I wish he was a little taller? Of course. But the fact that he is, oh my God, he's Thai. He's a model. Also, he's a boxer, ? I don't know. He has pretty tattoos, which cannot be said for everybody in this damn villa because Ace has his name tatted across his entire back. So, like, hey, I'm not into that. Zach has beautiful tattoos of what I've seen because I can't really look at him that much because if I look at him, it's like too much. He has a Manchester accent. What are you talking about? As soon as he opened his mouth and I heard that accent, I just about clutched my pearls because, as I've said, I am a One Direction stan. And so an accent's going to get me every single time. And on top of that, you have a pretty face. Like, I can't go on like this. I can't go on like this, and I can't actually think about you because you're gonna make me go crazy. So I am in love with Zach K, and I need him to couple up. Right now he's coupled up with Amaya, but I need him to stay on my screen indefinitely. So I need Amaya and him to really hit it off in order for him to stay on my screen for the rest of the time of Love Island, because I will, if he has to go home, it's going to be sick. Also, he is a friend of Miguel, and Miguel is with Leah from last season. You can't make this up. It's sick. So yeah, I am in love with Zach K, and he is my dream man, if y'all are wondering. I'm like thinking about him, and I can't even go on. Oh, Lord. Also, I want to I want to end on a serious note, I think. But I don't really know what I want to say or how I want to say it, so just bear with me here. But if you didn't know, or if you don't know me personally for some reason, I am single. Yay! I have been single since senior year of college, and that was like, what, 4 years ago now? Almost 5? Ugh. That's gross. That's really gross. But yeah, I've been single for a while, and there are so many moments where I truly do love my singleness. Like, I love being so independent. That is the one thing that I truly do love about myself, is that I am so independent and I can just do things on my own. I don't have to really think about, this sounds so selfish, but I don't have to think about anybody else whenever I want to make a decision. Like, most of the time it's just me, myself, and I. So like, if I want to do something, I'll go do it. And I don't really need to put the extra thought into, going somewhere, being whatever the case may be. I just don't have to have that extra step in my brain, which honestly, at this point, I'm so used to that if I do end up in a relationship at some point, like, that's going to be the biggest adjustment, I think, because I haven't had to do that for so long. So that would be a very big adjustment. But like, I do like being alone most of the time. Like, I am pretty introverted. I keep to myself pretty often. Obviously, I have my friends that I talk to and that I love hanging out with every now and then. But, it's always different for me. Sometimes I'm really high energy, and sometimes I want to be around people, and sometimes I just don't want to talk to anybody or anything. Talk to anything. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, but I've been realizing recently that it has been getting harder and harder for me to be around couples, which makes me sad in a sense, because it's like almost all of my friends are in relationships, which, like, again, totally, like, we are at an age where people are getting married, people are having kids, and people are in relationships, and like committed relationships, which is totally fine. That is not the journey that I am on. Mostly by choice, but also it's starting to feel like it's not a choice anymore, which, I don't know. Do I try in dating apps, and do I try putting myself out there? Not really. So it's like, I don't know how much I'm trying to like be realistic with myself and say, like, if I'm not trying and if I'm not putting myself out there, like, there's only so much that will happen or that I can do, because, I go to work, I go grocery shopping, I go home, I go to my second job, I hang out with my friends every weekend, and then that's about it. It's like, I'm not really like making steps to like put myself out there, but also I feel that when I did try to take the steps of putting myself out there, I did not like the results. So there's that. And it just feels like, I feel like I've kind of always felt this way, but the people that I usually find attractive, whether it be on dating apps or, people that I see out in public, like, the feelings are not reciprocated, which is like, okay, that's totally fine. Yeah, I'm not going to make you like me, but also it's like, it gets to a point where it's like, can I get one person that I actually like to like me back? And just one at all. So I think about that all the time, and I think that, like, I don't know. And someone actually, my friend Shimada sent me this thing. I forgot what it said specifically, but it was like, as a Black woman, like, one of the first things that I always think about when I see someone that I find attractive, I'm like, okay, they're attractive, but like, do they like Black women? Or also there's like, do they like Black women, or do they like people who are fat? Because I am both of those things, which, like, I can't change my skin color, and I know that. I also like I've looked this way my entire life. Like I've always been on the chubbier side. There was a point in my life where I was doing pageants and like I was kind of small, but even at my smallest, I always felt fat. I always thought I looked fat. And looking back on those photos now, I'm like, that's actually crazy because literally at my smallest, I was like, I'm still so big. Like I'm still so big compared to like all of these other girls. And like, I was not. I would do anything to go back to that size, but that's a whole other discussion. But right now it's like, I don't really care. I'm pretty happy with the way that I look. I have clothes that fit me and like, it is what it is. But yeah, that's another side of it. But also, it's just, I'm kind of rambling right now, but these are the thoughts that have been in my head and I really want to express them because it is hard being single as a 26-year-old woman. And sometimes it feels like, and I know I'm being dramatic when I say this, but sometimes it does feel like it's going to be like this forever. And I go back and forth on if I even would want a relationship or if I even want to get married one day. Because I do, like I said, I like being single. But it's hard in a world where a lot of people's lives are so centered around relationships. It's hard to think like, okay, but would I truly be happy if I was alone for the rest of my life? And I would like to think that I would be happy, but there's also just such a fear in the back of my brain that's like, I don't think that's true. And I think I've been dealing with that for like months and months of just going back and forth in those thoughts. And this is just like an ongoing conversation that I have with myself and that I probably will always have for as long as I do this podcast for, because I think that, I think it's relatable for people in my situation who, you know, they didn't really get a lot of attention they didn't get a lot of male attention growing up. And, you know, navigating dating is just weird, especially in this day and age where everything is just so visual. It's hard to think like, okay, if I'm not getting the responses that I want, like something must be wrong. Does that make sense? Because I've talked to people in the past that are like, oh yeah, if I want a confidence boost, I'll like swipe on a couple dating apps and I'll like talk to people. It's like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen for me. And so it's just like, maybe I will never find what I think I want or what I'm looking for. And I have to be okay with that. And I'm trying to be, but like I said at the beginning, it's just like getting harder and harder to be around couples because it's like, that's not something that I have, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So it's hard to it's just hard not to think about that. And it's hard to be happy being alone all the time. And I know like friendships are so incredible and I truly am grateful for the friendships that I do have, but it's not the same as romantic love. And it's hard to think like, will I ever get that again? Very much like, am I capable of love? Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this because like I could talk myself in circles. So yay. Sorry, I had to end on like such a heavy note, but that is something I've really been thinking about for the past ever. Okay, so I am currently reading In the Weeds by B.K. Borson. I don't think I've talked about BK on this podcast yet, but B.K. Borson is like one of my favorite authors. I was just like looking in Barnes and Noble one day and I saw the Love Light Farms book cover and I was like, oh, that looks cute. And then I didn't know that the Love Light Farms was like a series. So I read Mixed Signals first, which is actually the third book in that series. So I was like, oh, but again, it's one of those series where you don't need to read in order, but it is kind of helpful to like understand the dynamics of everyone and how they got to where they got to. Anyway, so this is the second book in the Love Light Farm series. Like I've read the third book and then the first and then the fourth and now this the second. So I love consistency here. But this is the book I'm currently reading. It's about some what's his name? Beckett is the farmer on Love Light Farms, and then Evie is this like social media influencer who was a big part in the first book. But she's basically like kind of burnt out with influencing, and she's like trying to find the place where she was the happiest. That wasn't a word. Where she was last happy, and it was Love Light Farms. So they reconnect, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there. But what page am I on right now? I'm on page 92. I love BK. I know I'm gonna love this book, and she literally can do no wrong. I freaking love her, and I need to read her new book. Well, it's not new anymore, but First Time Caller. I've heard incredible things about that. And she just writes like she's like running out of time. She has another book coming out, I think in October, which is like kind of like a Christmassy book. And then she's coming out with another book in the First Time Caller like series, I think, in February. So I am blessed and highly favored with BK, and I freaking love her. One thing that I do want to mention, if you're interested in BK and her books, one thing about these men, I realized this as I was reading this book, because I was like, there's something about her books that I really love. It's the men in these books yearn. They yearn for these women like they are a glass of water. It's like, and they are like in the desert. These men yearn like I've never seen yearning before. And I can't get enough of it. I really can't get enough of it because it's so, so, so good. I freaking love her. Anyway, that's where I'm ending the episode this week. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. If you want to not only listen to the podcast, but if you want to watch in video form, I have a YouTube channel. You can find me at Unhinged Fangirl Pod. I'm pretty sure it's either pod or podcast. You'll find it either way. But if you're interested in that, if you want that video form, we got it for you. Like I said, new videos and episodes every Thursday. Sorry it got so real at the end. Like, I'm sorry. This is about fangirling, and like it is very lighthearted and fun, but I have to be serious sometimes because that is just life. That's just life, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower. I think I need to go to bed. If we're being honest, I need to go straight to bed. But I'll see you guys next week. We'll see what happens in Love Island. I'm actually like very scared, but we'll talk about it next week. All right, guys. Bye.